Good evening everybody and welcome to the vlog for Tuesday, November 14th, 2017. I hope you're all doing well. So if you didn't know, today Jeff Keighley announced his nominees for his annual show, the Game Awards, which this year will be taking place on the evening of December 7th. And if you don't know, it's basically the big awards show for the games industry, similar to the Oscars. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to run through all the nominees and tell you guys who I voted for and also who I predict will win, because sometimes they're different. So without further ado, let's get on into it. Now bear with me because some of these categories I really have no insight to at all. For example, the first one that I'm going to list to you, Best Esports Team. Anyways, the nominees for Best Esports Team are Cloud9, FaZe Clan, Lunatic High, SK Telecom T1, and Team Liquid. I voted for Team Liquid because I think I've heard of them before. And let's just say they'll win too. Best esports player, I'm not even going to try and pronounce any of these names, but the nickname of the guy who I voted for was Cold Zera. I think he had a cool name, and he also had some pretty cool tattoos in the picture they showed of him, so I voted for him. And I also predict that Cold Zera will win that category. Best esports game, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Overwatch, and Rocket League. I picked Rocket League because that game is amazing, although I predict that Overwatch will probably win that category. Trending Game of the Year, we have Andrea Renee, Clint Lexa, Guy Beheem, aka Dr. Disrespect, Mike Grizek, and Steven Sofan. I voted for Andrea Renee in that category. I think she's doing a whole lot of awesome work at her new company, and she was also the host of the Nintendo World Championships this year, so good for her. And I predict that she will win that category as well. Most anticipated game, we have God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2, and The Last of Us Part 2. For that category, I chose The Last of Us Part 2 as my most anticipated game, although I predict that Red Dead Redemption 2 will win that category. For Best Multiplayer, we have Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Splatoon 2. I picked Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because I am in love with that game, and I played a whole lot of multiplayer on it this year, although I predict that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds will probably win that category. Best Sports or Racing Game, FIFA 18, Forza 7 Motorsports, Gran Turismo Sport, NBA 2K18, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, Project Cars 2. I don't play a whole lot of sports and racing games myself, but I picked NBA 2K18 to win that category because it is a beautiful looking game, and I know that game sells very well, and I predict that they will win that category as well. Best Strategy Game, Halo Wars 2, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Total War Warhammer 2, Tooth and Tail, XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. I picked Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle for that one because honestly it is the game that sold me on getting a Nintendo Switch. I've played a lot of that game, still haven't beat it, but I've loved every minute of it, and I predict that it will win that category as well. Best Family Game, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Sonic Mania, Splatoon 2, and Super Mario Odyssey. I picked Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to win that, and I also predict that it will win because what better game to play with your family than Mario Kart? And this is probably the best Mario Kart that I've ever played. Best Fighting Game, ARMS, Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Nidhogg 2, and Tekken 7. This is another category that I don't have a whole lot of insight on, but I picked Injustice 2 because I had a ton of fun with the first Injustice game, so I'd assume that the second one is similar but better. And I predict that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite will win that category. Best Role-Playing Game, we have Divinity Original Sin 2, Final Fantasy 15, Nier Automata, Persona 5, South Park, The Fractured Butthole. I chose Persona 5 for the best role-playing game. I only played a very small fraction of what that game has to offer, but I was completely in love with the art style, the gameplay, the story, all that. Really a shame that I couldn't get back to it. I hope to get back to it eventually, but we'll see how that goes because that's like a 100-hour long game. But I predict that Divinity Original Sin 2 will actually win that category because I've just heard nothing but good things about that game. For Best Action Adventure Game, we have Assassin's Creed Origins, Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. For that I chose Super Mario Odyssey because that game is amazing and I've been hooked to it ever since I got it, and I also predict that it will win that category. For Best Action Game, we have Cuphead, Destiny 2, Neo, Prey, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. I chose Cuphead to win that category because that game is amazing. I've probably played a little bit under half of it myself. Not only does it have like one of the most unique art styles in a video game ever, it also has excellent gameplay. So that was an easy choice for me, although I think Destiny 2 will probably win that category. For best VR AR game, we have Farpoint, Lone Echo, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Star Trek Bridge Crew, and Super Hot VR. Now, I don't have a VR headset myself, so I've actually not played any of these games, but I chose Super Hot VR to be the winner and my prediction. I think Super Hot is very cool. It's based off of a very unique gameplay mechanic, and from what I've seen of that base game, it seems like a really cool game, and apparently the VR version is just better because it's in VR. For best handheld game, we have Ever Oasis, Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentina, Metroid Samus Returns, Monster Hunter Stories, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. Again, this is another category that I don't have a whole lot of insight on, but I voted for Metroid Samus Returns, and I also predict that that will win. For best mobile game, we have Fire Emblem Heroes, Hidden Folks, Monument Valley 2, Old Man's Journey, and Super Mario Run. For this category, I chose Monument Valley 2 because it seemed like a very unique game, and I'm all for unique games, as you know, although I think Fire Emblem Heroes will probably win that. For best independent game, we have Cuphead, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Night in the Woods, Pyre, and What Remains of Edith Finch. For that one, I chose Cuphead. Again, I already talked about that, so I won't go into it any further, but I predict that Pyre will probably win that category. Pyre is a game that I really wish I played this year. It's made by Supergiant, who also made Bastion and Transistor, which are both great games. And everything that I've heard about Pyre has been very positive, so I'll predict that that's probably going to win that category. For best ongoing game, we have Destiny 2, Grand Theft Auto Online, Overwatch, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Rainbow Six Siege, and Warframe. I voted for Rainbow Six Siege because it has a small but very dedicated audience, and I think that that's a really cool thing, and I can really respect that. Although I think that Grand Theft Auto Online will probably win that category. For games for impact, we have Bury Me, My Love, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Life is Strange, Before the Storm, Night in the Woods, Please Knock on My Door, and What Remains of Edith Finch. For this category, I voted for Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice because I've heard that this game does a really good job at addressing mental health issues, which is something that I can really respect for a video game to do, and I also predict that Hellblade will win this category. For Best Performance, we have Ashley Birch for Horizon Zero Dawn, Brian Bloom in Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Claudia Black in Uncharted The Lost Legacy, Laura Bailey in Uncharted The Lost Legacy, and Melina Jurgens in Hellblade. Now, I haven't played Uncharted The Lost Legacy yet, but Chloe has always been one of my favorite characters in the Uncharted series, and so I voted for Claudia Black, who plays Chloe in the series, although I predict that Melina Jurgens will probably win this for Hellblade. For Best Audio Design, we have Destiny 2, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Super Mario Odyssey, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For this, I voted for Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, and I also predict that it will win that category. For Best Score/Music, we have Cuphead, Destiny 2, Nier Automata, Persona 5, Super Mario Odyssey, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For this, I voted for Cuphead because most of the music was actually recorded from a live orchestra, which I think is a really cool thing. Although I predict that Super Mario Odyssey may win this category. For Best Art Direction, we have Cuphead, Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For this, I chose Persona 5 because that game is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. It's clear that the character designers, UI designers, environment artists, all of the above took a ton of care in what they're doing, and it really came out with a beautiful game that I think looks awesome. Although I predict that Cuphead may win this category just because it came out so recently. For Best Narrative, we have Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Horizon Zero Dawn, Nier Automata, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. I voted for Horizon Zero Dawn because from what I played of that game, I thought the narrative was awesome, although I think Hellblade will probably win that category. For best game direction, we have Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. This was an easy choice for me. I picked Horizon Zero Dawn. I've spoken about the world that Guerrilla Games has created with Horizon Zero Dawn, and I think it is absolutely amazing, so they absolutely deserve to win the Best Game Direction nominee. And I predict that they will win as well. And the final one, for Game of the Year, we have Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Super Mario Odyssey, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. My personal game of the year goes to Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, I can't stress enough that that game is amazing and it has hooked me in ever since I picked it up. I beat the campaign fairly quickly, but after that there is so much left to do, and it's like one of the most addicting games I've ever played, I think. Although I predict that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will probably win this category because everyone loves that game. Anyways, those are all the nominees for this year's Game Awards and who I voted for and who I also predict will win each category. Let me know down in the comments section below if you agree with any of my picks or disagree with any certain ones. And also, what's your favorite game of the year? Doesn't necessarily need to be any of the ones on the list here, but just let me know what you think. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And I will see you all in the next video.